Hello there. So working through Sultans of Swing from our first lesson. Really good song to start with to work on your left thumb positioning for these types of solos. These types meaning rock-derived solos versus very single-notey world music or, not exactly bluesy riff solos. So, like we talked about, this entire thing is played by humans with their thumb slightly over the top of the instrument, or if you're Hendrix, people do all sorts of terribly inefficient things, but like we talked about, the difference between classical position, where you've been trying to execute most of this stuff, and then switching up for the bends, can be pretty nominal. All we want to do is not create distance back there where our hand disappears behind the fretboard for one reason or another. And this is a great song for being monster, like exactly when we use our pinky sometimes, but then find ourselves defaulting to ring finger with all the bends in the solo, and we like that part of it because that is a cool theme. Alright, let's get with them. Then he said, so we've got the most commonly bent note ever, this fourth, and I mean the interval of fourth, like on the third string and G string of our instrument. So be sure your thumb's over the top. You're not trying to do this way. And like we discussed, it's going to be like your middle finger and ring finger are things that move in unison. Whether you're at or unison, I might be referring to the term in unison. They move together as though they're attached, including when you spread out to that juxtaposition and do those bends, both of them same spot. Anyway, so and then we get one of these when we introduce the term dampen, and that's really the only way we can get it to not go like. So yeah, it's a right hand thing, and for most people they discover it's easier than it seems like it would be. So there's our first riff. Boing, 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 boing. Cool. Riff one. Now, hey man, I'd really love if you would stop the video and really conquer this riff, including embracing the part of it where you just go over the dance. I'm showing myself what my hands are going to be doing when I set out to play this riff at pace, at full speed. The more you can introduce that type of thinking into your practice when you're learning a new riff, you will move through the piece more efficiently. And it's the opposite of what's most fun, which is start from the beginning every time, play every, so don't always start at the beginning. And this particular video, I'm going to say now stop the video and work on that more times than in all subsequent lessons, where it'll just be implied that that's how I'm going to want you to work through things. Then we're really just talking about muscle memory. Cool, so there's riff one. Then he goes. Cool, so that's that. Rather. Yeah. So we're going to be doing that, not like a D chord shape, but with just like that. So be sure you're not down here like this, and try that again. Just start. And now we are deliberately going. Now do not start at the beginning, do not passcode, do not click the 200, please stop and work on riff 2 as though riff 1 doesn't exist. Now and only now play riffs 1 and 2 together, but do not go past them. Great. I might not say this every single time, but you get the idea. It's so much faster. People tend to be really repetitive, even in the context of a spectacular solo. Pardon. Yeah, so there it is. That's our... And, you know, I can't really make out what his hands are doing, but this would be a good time to use our pinky. And we have that where the order of operations are. I put down, you know, the same thing we were accomplishing with our middle and ring finger. When we were going to bend, you're going to have a sense of your pinky and middle finger being attached when you hammer on, such that it's already chilling there when you go to take your pinky off. And I'd work on that a couple of times, be sure that each movement's, you know, decisive, and that the order of operations is fully, I'm pushing down with 3 fingers, then I take one of them off. Cool. So that's the interesting part. And definitely pinky here combined with that, and then we get to some quintessential ring finger bend. So yeah, as advertised, new section. Great, so now we're... Excuse me? So the only part that's not obvious there is the pre-bend after that. It's not... It's... So if you would do me the service of just working on going instead of... Because you can totally go... So, my bad. There we are. So, as in. Pardon me. Firefox had a little moment there. And we've recovered. Alright, so now we've got our only thing that happens not in Pentatonic I, but in Pentatonic II. Or at least index 12th fret doing stuff up there. So it's our... Excuse me. So the slide. Why don't you just take off from the 11th fret and do 2 frets? That's going to be your default slide movement. In this case, you might be going about 3 frets, but it'll sound, I mean, identical. And most slides are just 2 frets. So there we go. Not, but yeah, so pick, section. So that's us back into the main box. Excuse me. And there's that note. So there it is. We've come full circle. We were doing it this way. Now we're using our strong finger for that note. So, or rather, whatever the timing is. Sorry. Yeah, so there we are. And then he kind of trails it off at the end. I might not have notated this, but it's like... Right. He does a little trail off thing at the end. So there it is. Section. So now we're back to index at 10th fret, expecting ring finger and bends and so forth from here on out. So there it was, the quintessential when do I use my pinky? And now we're back into blues rock land. Cool. So, and he just did that, rather. Yeah. So there it is, 2 index fingers draped across the first 2 strings. And that's where we got to, was the... We might not even have gotten to those last 2 notes, but there it is. So don't be tempted to use your pinky there because it's a very single note, but we want to go ahead and ring because we're about to bend, so be sure your thumb's over the top again. So there we are, and that's where we got up to. And there are those riffs. Cool. I know I wrote out a little bit from the intro. I don't think you need a video of that. Let me know if you do. And I'm looking forward to working with you now. We'll see you at your next lesson on Saturday at noon. And we will now have a semi-awkward moment before I push stop that we've weathered. There it is. Alright, enjoy. Happy picking. See you soon.